introduce you to Mr. Kushal Seth, who is a month's full stack developer, .NET developer. He has contributed a lot to blockchain. He has also been a major participant of 100 Days of Blockchain, and he has contributed a lot to open source organizations as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and yeah, thank you, Piyush. It was really helpful. The points that you have put, and thank you all the attendees for coming and joining us on the holiday. So, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir, it's perfectly visible. Yes,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
visible.
Yeah. Thank you. So, guys, welcome again, and this is me. I am Kushal. I am working as a development lead in a company, and I contribute to blockchain, and I have won few blockchain hackathons as well. So there are few projects on which I am working on, which I really like personally, is blockchain-based credit bureau system, and there are other intelligent social media systems that I am working with and on different with different teams. So today my talk is all about it's very important to understand what is actually open source, and as Piyush said, uh, open source is a community and we should understand the importance of the community and how the community can be helpful for us and how we can contribute to that community. So first let's start with what is open source software. Like when we say from where this term has come from. So in the 90s there was the first time when Netscape has moved their code to the basically they have moved their code to the open source. um, then there was a discussion between the difference between a free software and an open source software. Basically, open source is free, but what what is the difference that comes when we say, okay, it's an open source project? So, open source project is basically a project in which we open source our code base as well, in which we provide our code base to the mean public we make it publicly available, and people can change to the code base, and they can contribute to the code base, and they can um, make enhancement based on their needs. So that is basically a concept of open source and what we call it free software. So free software, before 1990s, it was like we were having the free softwares, but uh, for the first time Netscape come with the concept of, okay, let's make the code base also open source, so that whosoever developer is using it, they can see the code and try to improve it. um, so we will go deeper into it, like why basically open source, basically how it can be helpful for the companies, or how it can be helpful for the developers, or we will also look around uh, what open source community is. So first I will just navigate why open source for the companies. Um, if you are aware, then I think since I am a core Microsoft developer, um, Microsoft have moved all its code to the open source. Like you can see all its code to move to the open source. Microsoft have bought GitHub few years back. Um, So, what is the purpose? Like, even if, like in 2018, Microsoft have tied up with Hacktober to provide the T-shirts. Even the T-shirt which I am wearing is the same. So, I have contributed to the blockchain community of the Microsoft. So, why the companies are moving towards the open source? And if you know, like Google has made the TensorFlow code open sourced. Then, what is the purpose that they are moving their code to the open source? So understanding of the companies is, when they make their code open source, they will get quality developers. They will understand the users who are using it, and the developers who are using it can contribute to the projects, and Yeah, obviously, it will be mutually beneficial to the to all the companies. Like, if multiple companies are working on TensorFlow, then if the community is developing something, they can raise for some request, and if the community accepts, then they can develop that feature, and it will actually help to make your software better when uh, uh, when it is open to the uh, to actually use to the actual users, like who are actually using it or selling it to their clients. If I put the code with myself and it's not a open source, and I believe and I think, okay, I can resolve all the problems of my project, then it will not be possible. So that is the main purpose of companies to move their code to the open source, because developers comes and they contribute to the open source and they make the software better. Actually, the software is getting better when the developers across the world are coming and joining them, and it also allow companies to hire the talent, as Piyush mentioned, like people get into the maintainers, and companies sometimes feel, okay, this is a maintainer who is really valuable. So what they do, they actually like most of the company, what they do, they hire those talent, and um, and if you see in the maintenance cost of the software, then if I am owning an open source project, I can hire 10 maintainers at the full time, and I can maintain a community. That community will help to that community will help to make my product better. And in the same way, in the same time, I will have few of the developer who are actually maintaining all the product, like how it is going on, what is the release cycle. So this is how companies are getting benefit uh, of the open source. Now the point is, okay, companies are getting benefit. Why the developers are coming? Like, why I should come and I should contribute to the open source? So obviously, first point, which was there in my last slide also, companies hire the potential open source contributors. And one more thing, like, if you are a developer, you love to build and impact and make some impact with make some impact to a product. Like, um, you if you are a developer, you always feel, okay, if I contribute to a open source project, and it will actually it will be a feeling of proud that, okay, you are contributing to an open source project that is actually few people are using it. So that is a feeling of proud, and also you will get connected to a very strong network. Obviously you will see so many people coming around from the world, and they will be a part of your community, and you can discuss what they are building, and you can always connect with them and understand what's new in the tech space. So even I have seen the developers who have built their open source projects, and uh, later those companies or that projects have moved to the full time, or uh, or the features which are actually used by lots of users, and they have moved from the open source uh, to a actual product which users are using it. So this is like how the developers can get the benefit. Now the point is, before before pitching in, we should understand what the community is. Uh, Open source is a community. We should understand the importance of people here. If I say means um, if you see my means if you just roam around the Git, even I have so many Git repos. There are so many repos in which only I am the only single contributor, or there are so many repos in which you are not having the people contributing from different parts of the world. Why that is happening? Because if you really want your product to be open source, and you want that to be valued by the others as well, you should build a community. That And how you will build a community, that is by discussing, by while discussing your ideas, while listening to their ideas. It's very important to listen to someone's idea, because obviously this is your project. If you are building a project, open source project, this is your project, and you govern that. But when we talk about the community, it's not like you are the one who is governing it. It's the community who actually drives the product. You are a part of the community. You are not a owner, or like I must say, you are not you you, you obviously practically you are a owner, but if you say, it's a basically a community of the people who actually come together and build that product and make that open source community. So it's more than the code, it's about the community, how we build it. So so as I said, it's about the community, and it's about gathering the people together, listening to them. And there is one more thing, like we should be open to welcome the new contributors. It's something which is very important. If we are building a open source community, it's very important that we welcome the newcomers, we listen to them, because they might be like, might be from some other background, or they are like not from the core, or there might be like they are from some other technology and you are on some other technology. So we should always welcome to the new contributor, listen to them, and obviously we can always provide them some onboarding steps, so that whenever they come to our repository, they should know, okay, this is how I have to start working on the community, on this repository, so that they will become a familiar with the they become familiar with your project and they understand your project. You can write that in a MD file, and you can mention, okay, these are the things that the newcomers can do. And you can always being a newcomer, how um, you can always put some of the labels in your repo. Okay, these are the labels only for the newcomers or the first time contributors, so that it will actually help the newcomers to come and connect with your project. And you should always be open to listen the ideas. Obviously there might be ideas which may go totally against your product plan, but you can at least listen to them, and why a person is suggesting that idea. That is very important to listen. So now the point is, okay, we understood what is open source community, and uh, how our open source community should be. It should be warming, it should be welcoming. And but being a new contributor, what are my responsibilities? Like I am the first time contributor, and what are my responsibilities being into this uh, particular new community? So first thing is, I should understand how that particular project is uh, built, what is the branching system they are following, how they are maintaining the versioning of the project. And you should also read code of conduct. About code of conduct, I must say, why when we say we are building a community, it's not about writing the code of conduct, it's about being active in the community. uh, if some new contributor came and you are just mentioning, this is a code of conduct, you have to do it like this. People are not machines, they are all human beings, and they their thought process could be different. So you have to understand the thought process when you are community owner. And when you're a new contributor, you should understand the code of conduct and always ask to the maintainers, like sir, I don't understand, or even no need of saying sir, or like whatever, like you feel comfortable with, sir or Piyush, or whatever name you feel like. So you can always say, okay, I want to contribute to this code base. And one more thing, like being a new contributor, I think this is some really great thing which Hacktoberg community has done, by bringing that our repo should be opted in. Because what happens sometimes, really what happens uh, when there are so many products which are in their other phase of development. Like I could have a product, in might be I have a product and it is going for a production this next week. So I will not entertain the pull requests. So it's very important to understand what all repos are actually opted in. And if I say like these are the labels which I feel you can start with, like good first time issue you can search along with the, obviously if it is opted in, then good first time issue would be very nice for you to start coding. And also like if I see we saw it in the previous slide, the thing should be meaningful. Even I have seen so many pull requests in October where people are just sending by adding a colon to a sentence and they are saying it's my fourth pull request, please merge it. So see, Hacktoberfest is an introduction or it's a golden gate for you to enter to the open source. I feel if you contribute to one repo or one project uh, like that is really that is really if you put some meaningful thing into that particular repo, then I think that is more important than raising the pull request like these, because these are something which actually if I am building if I am like having some product release and I see these kind of pull requests, obviously these are something annoying to me because these are not adding value. They may add value when you push it with your some other changes as well. So be meaningful and take advantage of this golden gate which Hacktoberfest has provided. And this is a very nice JetBrains survey which happened in 2020. They are conducting it uh, every like I think every year. So in this JetBrains survey, I found some of them good slides which is like um, this is a link you guys can go and just check it out. So do you contribute to the open projects? So 40% said no, but they want to. So there are so many people who want to contribute to the open source, and Hacktoberfest is really a gate for you guys to enter to that particular open source thing. And these are like what kind of softwares basically developers are building. They are building websites, utilities. I think utilities is a very nice thing. You can, if you want to start a repo, utility is a very nice thing to start with. Just create a small utility that can be helpful for others as well. And this is something which how much time do you spend on uh, personal programming or side projects? So about 38% of the people spend around 3 to 8 hours a week on the open source projects or like personal programming. Uh, Thank you guys. This is me, Kushal, and you can always connect me on any of these handlers and enjoy the journey. Basically, I must say it's a very nice journey. You will come across very nice people, and I think next presenters are also very nice who will help you to basically uh, who will help you to basically actually understand how Git works, how versioning works, and we have a proper workshop for you guys as well. So uh, thank you guys, and always feel free to send me a mail or anything. Like you will get a mail on my Twitter or LinkedIn, so you can send from there. Uh, I think some query. If anyone have any query or question, feel free to ask me now, later, anytime.
That was really remarkable, sir. It was full of valuable information. I really liked your ability to present such a complex topic like open source. Like it sounds full of complexity, but you taught in such an interesting way. And I am sure you guys all can benefit immediately from the methods Mr. Kushal had suggested for starting into open source.
Yeah,
Guys,
thank you.
guys, if you have any question, you can raise your hand or just type in the text box. Also,
Yeah,
we will
even whatever is comfortable with you guys, like If you want to discuss separately, no problem. You can ping me or whatever is comfortable with you guys.
Yes, sir. We will do that. Thank you, sir.